Hello friends. So today we will see how to write essay in your English language paper. So almost like you get about 20 marks essay, and that is the heart of your English language paper, and it is very important to basically act this part, because if this part went well and at least you scored 17, 18, 19, or even 20 or 20 in your English language paper, the rest of the English language paper is like it is going to be a very easy thing, a piece of cake to be done, right? If you learn once how to write a good essay, you will automatically be better in your letter or in your comprehension part. So it is very important to learn that how to write a very good essay, that quality of essay which requires to get a 17, 18 on a 20. So basically, the first point is that you have to find your own style. Okay, do not try to copy anyone else's style. If the other person is writing something else with something other style, and if you try to do the same, and if you're not genetically or internally that kind of a person, you will not be able to write that part nicely. So it's better if you find your own style. It might be humorous, it might be emotional, anything like that. Not emotional in that sense, but something which connects, something which touches your heart. Okay, if you read the story written by Rabindranath Tagore, that is Postmaster, you will get a very good idea that how can stories or essays can be heart touching. So you can take inspiration from that story and you can implement those in your descriptive writing, those words which it uses in describing the atmosphere of the village, right? So now see that basically find your own style and then use figures of speech as much as possible. Figures of speech are very important. It might be simile, it might be metaphor, anything like that. But if you are using figures of speech, especially in your descriptive writing, it is going to add a lot in your essay, and the examiner is going to be very, very much impressed, because definitely like you are using your brain, it shows your creativity. So definitely you must practice how to include figures of speech in your essay. I will show you some examples regarding that. Next is sentence formation, which is again something very important, but usually people make mistakes in this part. So sentence formation is also very important, that how you frame your sentences. If your sentence formation is not correct and you are just haphazardly writing anything you are getting into your mind, that is not going to give a clear sense or that kind of presentation of clarity in your mind. The examiner will understand that you are not clear about what you are writing. So first thing about sentence formation is you have to be clear about what you are writing, and then whatever you are writing, it should be very it should like show that you are writing it and you are not copying it from somewhere else. Use proper grammar, use proper even if you are using figures of speech with proper prepositions and all those kind of thing to make your essay look more quality essay. So sentence formation is very important, and the way you arrange your essay, the content of your essay is also one important thing to be underlined. That you must practice how to frame sentences properly. This will come only when you practice more and more and analyze that where are you lacking. After reading your essay and rating it yourself out of 20, that how much will you give it. Like if you are comparing with another essay which is written by someone else, maybe your teacher or something, compare both and see the differences you are getting and try to improve your essay, and that is only how you will learn how to write quality essay. Now you also have to read quality materials for that may include any book specifically for essay, or maybe any stories also help a lot in writing your essay. If you analyze that story and try to implement that kind of thing in your essays also. Now many of the students basically try to write story or narrative essay. Now see, there's a high chance of you making a lot of sentence formation mistake while you are writing story or narrative essay. So basically, in my preference, I do not prefer anybody to at the first preference select the story or narrative essay. But then if you want, if it is your convenience and the topic is like that about which you are aware about, then you should write story or narrative essay only. But you must be very careful about what you are writing, and you should not be overdrawn and write too many words. You should also remember that you have only limited amount of words to be written. Okay, so all these things are important while you are writing story and narrative, and again you will use that kind of touch which I will show you in few examples in few seconds. You have to write that, you have to implement that in your essay, and even if you are writing it normally, make sure that that essay of the story or narrative should be very engaging. The examiner should understand, should delve into that topic at the first glance when he or she is reading your essay. So, for story and narrative writing, to set the atmosphere is very important. Setting the atmosphere, if you are writing about a rural village kind of a scenario, think about that, the atmosphere, the humidity, the trees, the vegetation, everything like that, and then write. Do not then try and write things which are more city like. Okay, now let us come to argumentative. So argumentative also, like, you have to stay to one topic. Do not try to jump from one point to another or conclude in a manner that shows that you are standing for both the topics. Many people write for a single point throughout the essay, but in the conclusion, they write that both the points are equally relevant. But that is also wrong. In the entire essay, you have to stick to one topic only. So remember that. Then each points in separate paragraphs. Okay, so whatever you're writing, like each points, whatever you're mentioning, there should be at least 4 to 5 bold points in your essay which you are writing. So if you're writing about why cycle should be promoted in cities, that should have 4 to 5 such points which really conveys that why cycling is important. That may include pollution, that may include it is good for the people's health. Okay, and all those kind of things. Then use quotations, examples, and datas. You, if you know any quotation related to your topic, you may use that. Examples regarding that about the topic which you're writing, and data topics like women empowerment or about the pollution increase. Okay, and all those kind of thing. Then when I talk about descriptive, you have to write about the 5 senses. You should be very, you should use the figures of speech, that is imagery, because while you are writing descriptive, you should know that you are writing about the 5 senses. So all about touch, what you hear, what you smell, what you see, all those kind of things you need to write. And descriptive writing, for descriptive writing, figures of speech plays a very very important role. Now let us come to some example to understand whatever we have learned here. Now number one is the example which I'm giving you. Like, instead of just writing that I was reading a newspaper with a coffee in the morning, you can write that I could feel my fingers grip the coarse surface of newsprint and could hear the sound of rustle as I turned the page. The wealth of information on the sheets is like manure for my mind. Newspaper is my morning companion. So how you are comparing, and you are saying that while you are turning the newspaper you could feel. So this is also one of the senses. So if you will write this in your descriptive essay or even in other essay like story writing, that will give a new sense because you are using the imagery of feeling, and then you are also using the imagery of, and you are comparing, like you are using similes like manuals, like here you used the sound of rustle. So you are, what you heard, you are writing about what you heard, what you felt when you were touching the newspapers, what you were listening, how you are feeling, and while you were turning that like manual. So the information is like a manual to you, so you are using simile here. So basically these all kind of figures of speech, when you use, you are comparing the information to be the manual for your mind. So this shows your creativity and how you can think and relate to different things, and saying that and comparing newspaper to be your morning companion. This is also a very good example of how you can actually use your creative skills, or you can actually add to your essay or make your essay look more engaged. Another example of the morning sunshine is showering blessings on earth, and the atmosphere is serene, and the touch of cold breeze with the dews upon the grass amused me. So you are again using words like showering blessings on us, the atmosphere is serene, and the touch, you are talking about the touch you felt when you touched the cold breeze, when your feet were lying on the cold, when your feet were lying on the dews and the cold breeze was blowing through your body. So that amused you. So you know, you are comparing, you are showing, you are comparing the sunshine to be the to be the blessings of the nature. You are comparing the beauty, you are basically reflecting the beauty of the nature in your words. Okay, So, and you can use these kind of idioms or proverbs like he was on needles, tips and needles, he was on tips and needles, or he was in needles means that he was in a rush to do something, or like that. It was raining cats and dogs means it was raining heavily. So when you are talking about any kind of flood kind of situation, or maybe anything in your story writing or descriptive writing, you may use this sentence. And then suppose you are describing about your house or your ancestral house or something like that, you can use sentences like each brick of the house echoed with the memories of the festivals and bear the smell of the delicacies made. So you are giving, you are personifying the bricks to contain, to bear the smell, the memories, the sounds, everything which you used to do in this ancestral house or maybe your present house, anything. So basically you are personifying and giving a non-living object a living character. So that is also a very good thing to be used in your descriptive writing. Now there are some topics which you can practice, which are these three topics. You can read this and write it, and these will really test your creativity. And if you use all these methods and try to write all these three topics, you are going to make it. And then compare and see that how you have improved. Use all these kind of tips which I have provided and write your in your own style. So let us revise whatever we have talked in this entire video. Basically, to find your own style, use a lot of figures of speech. Remember about the sentence formation, whatever you are making. Connect your stories, sentences. Suppose the first part should connect with the last part, or you can basically frame, like if you're talking that you went to a safari park or something like that, and you are talking about the action kind of a thing, action kind of a story, you can bring the action in your first paragraph, then continue with a normal day. Suppose you are talking about a robbery, so you can just come directly into the movement when you saw the robbery happening, and then you can come to the point where you are describing that how you came to the bank and what was an atmosphere and all those kind of thing, and then again took it back to the action kind of thing, that how somebody, maybe the security guard or maybe somebody among the crowd, how he intellectually or cleverly saved everybody's money, life, or something like that. So that is how you can structure, like coming into action directly, then bringing it back. Okay, it's like putting acceleration, then again retardation, and all those kind of things. So you can use this kind of things to make your essay look more engaging, and to basically you have to play with the examiner's imagination, and the better the examiner will understand, will get a clear idea about your essay, can relate with your essay, there's a high chance of you getting more marks. Okay, so remember all these kind of points, write your essay, keep practicing. Thank you.